3 spot. And for the Nets, Kyrie Irving is out there with Monk. And it's Durant. Then it's Montrezl Harrell. And it's Spellman in at the 4. So the Lakers win the tip. James outside. Back to Westbrook. Kicks it out to James. Misses the 3.
Hard to figure out how he doesn't knock that one down. No defender in sight.
And at this point, there simply is no doubt that Kevin Durant is one of the great shooters to ever play the game. The only question is just where on the all-time list will he land when we talk about the unstoppable score.
And so it's the Nets getting on the board first. James looking it over. 14 feet away. The rebound by KD.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that one.
And with Durant, perhaps the most amazing part, he can have quiet nights, Greg, of 30-plus points.
Kevin, his scores are just so easy for him that you forget you aren't supposed to see 7-foot sharpshooters doing it. He can score from anywhere in any fashion and can hold his own with any player in history in terms of how unguardable he is.
Sinks the three-pointer.
Tell you what, that's something LeBron has really worked on a bunch. I mean, the three-point shot is a real weapon of his now.
Westbrook against Irving. Pass to Spellman. Kicks to Durant. Shot clock at 6. Now in the scoring column with that bucket. 1 for 2 this game.
And Durant has just such a fluid release. Very efficient shooting the ball from that mid-range.
Westbrook against Irving. Some solid defense there from Irving.
It's not get much easier than that, but somehow he came up empty there.
Durant dishes to Irving. And here is Monk. Launches a 3, and Irving with the basket on the assist by Monk.
I love the three-point shooting of Irving. Excellent at dialing it in from deep, and you've got to respect his range.
Now here's LeBron. 4-point game. On opening night, Clark, both teams would love to start off, obviously, on a winning note.
Without question, I mean, setting that winning tone, gaining that confidence that comes from winning, and they all count. Wins today are just as important as wins that you get in March and April.
And here's Irving, following Russell Westbrook's 3.
Get that weak stuff out of here around Howard. Return to sender is what he stamped that one with.
Lakers shooting their first free throws of the game on this trip to the line. Westbrook.
And, you know, quite a bit of turnover for the Lakers in recent years, guys, from the front office to the coaching staff. I think it's always important for an organization to have a common voice to speak in stereo and have everybody in proper alignment from the top down to the court.
The Lakers making a switch here. JaVale McGee's checked in for Howard. Tristan Thompson comes in for Morris. Danny Green, he's checked in for LeBron. Rajon Rondo subbed in for Robertson.
And Russell Westbrook is as explosive a guard as we've seen in the history of the game. An incredibly gifted scorer who can also punch it on you.
Fades. That one goes in. And as the Lakers have looked to fill positions, Clark, a real affinity for candidates with the Lakers history.
Yeah, you know, that's exactly right. They view it as a family, but here recently, they've expanded their options and have looked outside of past Laker pedigree in terms of filling some key spots, which is part of what you have to do if you're going to move forward and be successful.
Here's Graham. Following the basket by Russell Westbrook. Pass to Harris. High arcing shot. Good D by Westbrook.
And that is a textbook example of how to defend your rim.
And you know, guys, I love his fight and grit on the interior. I mean, he never lets a shot go uncontested.
It just seems like the more he touches it, the more the lead grows.
Here's Graham. He's covered by Rondo. And there's the pass to Zubac. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for two. It's on JaVale McGee.
And a great front office in Brooklyn. General Manager Sean Marks taking over in 2016, and he just signed an extension.
And you know, guys, that San Antonio tree has some great branches on it all over the league, and he's one of them. I mean, he's been a player, a coach, has worked in the front office. Marks understands all sides of the basketball business.
And the first one drops. And so he makes both from the line. And it's Rondo with the ball for the Los Angeles Lakers. Thompson outside. Outside Westbrook. A rebound by the Nets.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
KD's shot is good. Here's Westbrook. He had a 27-point outing in their last game against Houston.
And he didn't take any plays off at the defensive end. I mean, he wound up with 4 steals on the night.
From deep. And another shot. And no good on the last second attempt this time. Tie game in Brooklyn. And don't go away. We'll be back with the action for the start of the second quarter in just a moment. Well, you see a lot of players who pick up a controller and fire up NBA2K, thank goodness, including the king himself, LeBron James.
I play 2K all the time. Seriously, when I'm playing the game, I'm putting certain lineups on the court that I see could actually help us in real life, which is very weird.
Always experimenting, always keeping his mind engaged, Greg, with basketball.
And that's who Bron is. He lives, breathes, and eats basketball.
And we hope you're enjoying the game. Both teams tonight keeping things pretty even so far on the scoreboard. And guys, what stands out to you from the Nets in this one?
You got to credit their defense, communicating, rotating, making plays on the ball.
They've got them rattled. It's only the first quarter, and already they've made enough big plays on defense to last really an entire game.
They've got Ivica Zubac. Alvis Bertans out there with Durant. Then there's Harris. And it's Graham in at the point. That's the Nets 5 as we get into the second quarter. Just 3 to shoot. There's the 3. The shot, no good. And the Lakers take it the other way. It's Westbrook with the drive, and he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up. And the foul goes against Brooklyn. And let's get your take, guys, on the scoring breakdown for the Lakers.
Boy, the three-point shot has really been dropping for him early on.
Also, guys, the passing has been terrific in the first half. They'll be happy with all those assists.
The free throw drops for Russell Westbrook. Mark, the level of nuance in the footwork that keeps evolving every few years. Talk about the changes that you have seen from the time you've played to the exquisite footwork we see now.
Well, you know, some of my peers would say that these guys are being allowed to walk and have it talked about as good footwork. So you work with Reggie and other guys, and I hear them all the time saying guys are getting away with carrying the ball and so forth. But the footwork is pretty good. I mean, when you think about it, the step-back three-point shot, the ability to make plays off the dribble, all attributed to footwork. I think it's just an evolution of the game. As players see more and more of excellent work on the court, they're able to emulate it a lot sooner and a lot better.
Here's Green. No points in the game yet for him. Second quarter of action, about a minute and a half played. Back to Green. The kick out to Westbrook for three. Graham with the rebound. For the Nets, they come into this one following a loss to Golden State. Pass to Harrell. Bertans in the post. McGee's there. Bertans can't get it to go.
And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there.
Yes, that goes in.
And, you know, passes like that go a long way. Terrific teamwork.
Nets trail by 6. Pass to Graham. On its way from Irving for 2. Another miss, and they desperately need a bucket. The Lakers have gone 2 of 3 from the field here to open the second quarter. Down low, and the slam dunk by McGee.
And this kind of athleticism at the center position, pretty remarkable. I mean, McGee letting it all hang out there.
Second quarter play with almost 3 minutes gone. Here's Irving, and foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. The Nets shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night.
And team stats last season, 74% shooting, so some numbers that they can definitely improve upon.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
That free throw good from Kyrie Irving.
And season 4 for Coach Kenny Atkinson with the Nets. You got to be impressed with the job he's done in Brooklyn.
Yeah, you know, Kenny is a hard worker. He's a bit of a grinder if you were trying to term what category he might fit into. And you see that in his team. And, you know, he admits it. He's getting better just like his players are. And that's a great, great statement because we're all hopefully getting better as we move forward.
Both free throws good from Kyrie Irving.
And that's the norm for him. He's pretty much automatic when he's at the line.
James finds Morris. Back to James. And LeBron throws it down.
Nice play, and you can see they're gathering momentum.
You know, they need to stay aggressive here. Build the lead up while they've got the chance. Don't waste this opportunity.
Now here's Irving. 5 points in the game. Harris kicks to Harrell. Now here's Monk. Defended by Robertson. Passes it to Harris. From deep three-point range, it's hauled in by Los Angeles.
A shot like that is a polite way to say, hey, coach, bench me.
Hey, that's crazy there. I mean, insanity. At least wait until you get across half court. My goodness.
Howard, good.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
And it's been a well-rounded performance. I mean, strong rebounding has certainly been at the center of it, but it's been good on a number of levels.
And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn.
Trying to find some answers offensively.
Yeah, and you know, that's going to be the focus of this timeout. They need to come up with a spark to get the offense going.
So for the Nets, Zubac is checked in for Montrezl Harrell, and Durant subbed in for Joe Harris. And the Lakers also making a change. Rondo's checked in. Now, here's Zubac. There's 49 seconds left here in the second. Rondo against Irving. And again, it's the Nets missing.
And just not able to find the target from three-point range here in the second quarter, although he did knock down one in the first.
Great timing and recognition as Howard is able to go up for the alley-oop.
Nets trail by 12. Now the pass to Monk. There's 21 seconds left in the first half. Irving finds Zubac. KD with it from deep. Rondo with the rebound. Takes a three. It doesn't go for him. And so we conclude the first half. Los Angeles on top. They lead by 12. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Russell, how confident are you that there's nobody that can stay in front of you?
Very confident. I have a lot of confidence in myself. I put a lot of work in the summertime, and I'm very confident.
That is never a problem for you, Russ. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. And stay with us, folks. We'll be back just after halftime to get the third quarter started.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here with Shaq and Kenny, and a favorite time of the year as we're halfway through one of the first games of this fresh NBA season. A competitive matchup for the Lakers in the first quarter. Nothing seemed to give way on either side of the scoring column as they wrapped up the period all knotted up. The second quarter was all theirs. Major uptick in offensive and defensive intensity as they did their jobs with precision, now sitting on a comfortable 12-point lead at the half. And taking a look at the Lakers, Shaq, what'd you think?
Well, the offense is running on all cylinders. Guys are focused, executing, not playing outside of themselves. That's why their shooting percentage was so high. See it up there, Ernie, in the stratosphere. Anyway, they're mixing things up, which keeps the defense scrambling.
And Kenny, what are your thoughts on Brooklyn?
Well, obviously, they were outshot. I thought they mailed it in too many times in terms of their effort. People weren't moving, they weren't screening, and they definitely weren't hustling. They need to hit the ground running to be competitive in the second half, or they could get blown out.
And that'll about do it as we get ready for the second half. Let's take you down to Kevin Harlan.
Shout out to my main man, Joel.
Joel, what up?
And as we dive into the second half, we'll find out if the next two quarters are any different from the first two. So far, it has been a runaway. Russell Westbrook really making a difference here.
And he's shown just how adept he can be at creating contact and then cashing in at the line.
Well, you know, in that first half, it was a common occurrence. He got to the stripe time and time again.
And there wasn't too much drama in the first half, but maybe things will tighten up here in the second. And so it's KD with it. He brings up the ball for Brooklyn. Down by 12. Checking out the group for Frank Vogel to start the second half. We've got Russell Westbrook. Marquise Morris is out there with Howard. Then it's LeBron James. And it's Robertson in at the 2. Here's Spellman. He kicks it to Harrell. And it's sent back by Howard.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Yeah, you look across the board, it's actually sizing up, shaping up to be a great game. I mean, strong performances throughout, and they've really been strong on the glass.
And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by James.
Yeah, gets a finger on it, but just can't quite come up with the steal.
Clearly a careless pass. He got away with one there.
Here's Irving. He has 5.
I got him.
Kicks it to Monk. The Nets working the ball around now. Just 5 on the clock. From three-point range. Clark, I'm going to get a little detailed here, but in terms of footwork in the post, who really impresses you?
Well, there are a number of guys, Kevin. I mean, you think about it. Kevin Durant is a lethal scorer and does a lot of his work off the dribble and in transition on pull-up threes. But when he is a post-up threat, and he does get posted sometimes, his footwork is superb, absolutely superb. Joel Embiid comes to mind, big fella with feet of a ballerina. Jokic does a great job with his feet, not nearly as athletic as Embiid or Durant. And then I would put Kawhi Leonard outside of a big guy. I mean, he's not a big guy in terms of position, but boy, he is very efficient down in the low post when he gets it there.
Good names. And the bright lights of L.A., perhaps too much for some players. But you know what, Greg? Not for LeBron James.
This guy thrives in the spotlight. The Lakers crafting a roster to satisfy his championship ambitions. Off the court, the City of Angels perfect for maximizing his business aspirations.
One shot.
Free throw good, James. And LeBron James, Clark climbing the all-time scoring list, last season passing Michael Jordan. This season, Kobe Bryant. Clark, any chance LeBron someday passes another Laker great, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, for the most career points in NBA history?
I think it's simply a matter of his health, because if he stays healthy, then it's not if, but when. By the time his contract runs out, guys, in 2022, he'll be right in that neighborhood of my all-time favorite player, and I think the greatest player to play, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
He gets a chance now to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, last season the G League tested out an expansion of the clear path rule. Now that expansion is making its way to the NBA. It should discourage those intentional fouls that slow up teams on the fast break. Fans wanted it, and analysts clamored for it. That will allow the amazing athletes in this league more opportunities to show what they can do on the fast break.
You're right, David. A welcome change. Thank you.
Well, it's been an express lane to the rim. Coach can't be happy about that.
And, you know, I think he's going to tell them simply, we have to show more fight on the interior. That's the top priority right now.
Check out stats for Durant. Last season, he played outstanding. 8th in scoring, and he was top 10 in free throw percentage. Did not waste opportunities to convert at the line.
And back to his points per game average last year, he literally propped up the team's offense whenever they needed it. Now, here's Monk. Still looking for his first bucket in this one. Inside, stolen by Thompson. Fast break, the Lakers. And the dunk by James.
And their balanced effort at both ends has hushed this crowd.
Yeah, you said the key word there, balanced. I mean, their big lead owes as much to their defense as their offense.
And here's KD for three. And again, it's the Nets missing.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Yeah, rebounding has been a big key in this one, Greg. They've asserted their will and have taken control on the glass.
Now here's Durant after LeBron James's miss. James with some nice D.
And the stroke definitely lacking confidence this quarter. Nothing on target.
Played in with a nice touch off the glass. LeBron's got 12 points in the game.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Graham with the ball. He's covered by Westbrook. Left side Durant, and oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot two. And even after the Achilles tear for Durant in the 2019 finals, he got a huge contract after he opted out.
Most teams felt they were willing to pay him while he rehabbed for a year. That was the case as the Nets gave him a 4-year max money deal. His next chapter is underway as he changed his number to 7.
free throw good from Durant.
And you can tell Durant loves to play the game. Whether it's the NBA or a pickup at Rucker Park, this guy is balling 24/7.
Zubac is checked in for the Nets. Harris comes in for Malik Monk. The Lakers also with a sub. Rondo's checked in. And KD drops them both. Mark, we know you have great passion for the game of basketball. Any passions that our fans may not know about?
Yeah, I enjoy golf. I'm an avid reader, as you well know, Kevin. We actually share book titles on occasion. Obviously, food is universal, and there's nothing I turn down. I try to eat certain things in moderation, but I enjoy board games, too. In terms of sports, I'm a fan of football, both college and pro. Enjoy playing golf, and board games and reading probably are what occupy my time.
Here's KD after the basket by Los Angeles.
Yeah, you look at the way Kevin Durant releases it so high, makes it hard to block, which is why he's such an efficient inside scorer.
Now here's LeBron, 12 points for him. Pass to Green. Back to Rondo. Wing shot on the way. Again, Los Angeles.
And there's nobody any better in terms of running the pick and roll than Rondo. He's ready to shoot as soon as he comes off the screen.
Here's Graham. He's been quiet so far. Still no points in the game. And it's a defensive 3-second violation. For Brooklyn, they have been perfect so far from the free throw line. 6 for 6. Free throw drops for KD. Omari Spellman has come in for Brooklyn. Irving comes in for Joe Harris. And then for Los Angeles, Dwight Howard. He's checked in for JaVale McGee. Markieff Morris comes in for Tristan Thompson. And it's Andre Robertson in for Green. Now here's Durant. He's got 11 over LeBron. Zubac trying to break loose. And the Nets miss again. LeBron against KD. And the officials call a traveling violation. Brooklyn's gone 0 of 2 from deep to start things here in the second half. And the officials signal the backcourt violation. Not very careful there.
Oh, costly error there. We'll see how they rebound from that miscue.
Well, you know what? Their wounds are self-inflicted. I mean, you've got to play much smarter than that.
Rondo passes to Howard. Good. Nice job down low. Howard's got 8 points.
And when you're open, Rondo finds you. Always has his head on a swivel.
Here's Zubac. And the last second attempt doesn't fall. And so it's the Los Angeles Lakers rolling along with a 27-point lead as we wrap up the quarter. A look at the field goal percentage numbers tells the story of what tough defense they're playing today. And don't go away. We'll be right back. And with the fourth quarter upon us, time is running out for this game to become competitive. And the Lakers have possession. Our fourth quarter action underway, presented by Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups. So for Brooklyn now, Irving is out there with Cook. Then it's Ivica Zubac. And it's Musa in at small forward. Here is Cook. Here's Musa. Last season, the NBA announcing the launch of a league in Africa, along with FIBA. Clark, what do you think of that move?
I think it's another example, Kevin, of the globalization of the game and the NBA's intentional, purposeful way of expanding and continuing to grow the game for the sake of the business of basketball, which is a game that obviously you and I love.
And Clark, we see so many foreign players come into the NBA and play well. Not just play, but play well.
Yeah, and not just Africa, although
right.
a number of players from Africa, but a number of different countries have signed on. It could make for a more exciting league. It's never easy trying to keep him off the glass. He's an absolute beast down there.
Rondo looking around. He feeds it to Morris. Pass to Horton Tucker. Shot clock at 5. Passes it to Robertson. Over Irvin. Robertson can't hit. And it's Cook with the ball for the Brooklyn Nets. A great fourth quarter, just giving up 2 points. Irving for 3. The rebound by the Lakers. Game moves along. 2 minutes gone here in the fourth. Robertson kicks to Rondo. Here's Horton Tucker. Here's Morris. It's hauled in by Zubac.
I think he'll think twice about attempting that shot next time. The defense was right on top of him there.
Outside Irving. Hey, Clark, the NBA moved the presentation of the MVP award to after the conclusion of the finals. You like that?
Yes and no. I think you have 2 separate awards. You could have a playoff MVP or a finals MVP, which we have. And then you have a regular season MVP. The MVP is for the body of work done during the regular season. So I think there should be a clear separation between the two, quite honestly. So, no, I don't like it.
At least you're honest, Clark.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time.
Here is Cook. He's covered by Rondo. Here's Zubac, and they call the foul, so a chance at the line for one more coming up.
And that tells the tale here today, guys. Throughout this game, they've been able to get the ball in tight and finish.
Hernan Gomez is checked in for Brooklyn. Joe Harris comes in for Kyrie Irving, and then for the Lakers. JaVale McGee's checked in for Morris. Green comes in for Andre Robertson. And it's Alex Caruso in for Rajon Rondo. Lakers leading by 20. Outside, Green. Out to the wing. Here's Horton Tucker. Back to Green. Trying to end the drought. No good. The Nets go the other way with it. 1:16 left in the game.
Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for the Lakers.
This was a team performing to its fullest capability.
A hugely satisfying win. A game that not many will soon forget. And on the other side, one that I think most will try to forget.
And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year. And one of the key components to this victory, if not the biggest, was the incredible performance for Russell Westbrook.
An unbelievable scoring performance. He absolutely took over and never let up.
Here's Musa. The pass to Claxton. He dishes it to Cook. Goes up at the stripe. The shot will not fall. And the Lakers will go the other way with it. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Caruso, the pass to Horton Tucker. Hernan Gomez against Green. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact.
And one thing you can say about Green, I don't know of too many players who are as dependent on their three-point shot as he is. He needs that shot to be falling for him to make an impact.
And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time. 5 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And so it's the Lakers taking care of business here. To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they don't need home cooking to feel at home. I mean, Kevin, just a masterful performance all the way up.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.
May nakita kong ano, ignorant ko, dan madaming nagsasabi ko. May nakita akong revenge button. Ano ginagawa niya?
Babawian eh. Nakatake yung base niya. Wow.
Walang base na sa hirap na tapos na ba? Pwede naman sa ano?
Sila-sila ko.
Zero naman IQ. Zero. Million. Negative. IQ. Zero million. That's probably